I'm going to read this last bar, because it's now on public display in the Market Square, Kilshima, permanently. I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy about it, because most people you have to die and sort of go along and claim your death before they. Yeah, I'm still here.
It's been made extra fuel.
But it's at Lisord, is the High Fort in Kiledon, where I was born in Kiledon. And we used to cross over Lisord on the way to McManus, even though he was blind, or 98% blind, I suppose. But the landlords looked after him a bit. And so he used to cross over. And when he was about 24, all the family died. The Raftery family, except his mother and himself, there were 10 of them. They had smallpox in there, and he went blind, and the rest died. And at the age of 24, he was working for Taft. He was born in 1778 and died in 1835. He's buried in County Galway. But anyway, I don't want to go on a long time about this, but it's a kind of important part of this poem. Anyway, at 24, Taft was on the beer, the landlord, and he asked Raftery to go to Kilshima to buy some whiskey. And he gave him the prize horse. He was on the tear, so Raftery got on the horse. It legends the story anyway. And he tried to gallop off to Kilshima, but he drove the horse into some ditch or other and broke its back. And he could never return. And he left Kiledon and never came back. You know the poem, Inishchak the Navi, Spring. Yeah. And then he went to Galway, to Gort, and to South and East Galway, and spent his life, died in 1835. But it's interesting that he never returned. And the poem Kiledon, the Callanans he's buried in Killini churchyard in County Galway. I read standing on his grave. I was very proud of myself, in Galway. But there was the Callanans and himself, they were always in competition, because they were kind of balladeers, and they are bards. And so he wrote that poem of Kiledon, glorifying the great things of Kiledon. He wanted to come back. But of course, it was just kind of part of the competition, kind of thing, to see who was best. But anyway, that is the background really to this thing here. But Sally McKenna as well has put a new sculpture in the square of Kilshima, a raftery sculpture called The Last Bard. And when she was doing it, I was in her studio, and I was saying, Sally, that he was the last bard. She said, I call it The Last Bard. She says to me, go home and write a poem, if you can, about the last bard. And I said, I'll try. So I jumped on the bike and cycled off back to the old house, and I started fiddling around. And about the same time, I got a call from America, from the Prairie Schooners, this Nebraska University, were doing an anthology of Irish writing. They asked me for a poem. And I said, geez, very good. So I sent this off, and they took it straight away. So this thing has been all over the place. So now it's on public display, so I'm going to read it now. Is there anything else I need to say here? I don't think so. Lisord is the High Fort in Kiledon. When you're going from Beholder to Kilshima, you can see it. Look, on the left is the highest fort in the area. You can see the trees, beech trees on top of it. It's very sort of amazing place. As a kid, my uncle from Castlebar, he was a teacher, and he used to come to our house every Saturday. He had no kids of his own, and he used to take me up to the top of the High Fort, and we used to sit up there, and he'd tell me lots of stories about rafting, and he'd write our names on the trees. And he was a real child. He was a lovely fella. But anyway, that's the way it goes. This is called The Last Bard. On Lisord, among beech trees, I lie like a novice on moss and grass, and you are in those battered clouds, looking down at colours you know by heart. I was a fierce warrior here at 8. At 9 I hacked my name into a tree. A dog howls. In the distance the river whispers, it's time to sleep. I wrap my book in fern and see stars slipping like melting ice. Do you want me to start then?
No, I can.
Okay.
I cut it out, yeah.
I wrap my book in fern and see stars slipping like melting ice. A fox bickers, a rabbit pleads. I smell red wind and shut my eyes to catch you reeling in the sun. You left Kiledon in a hurry to do with the death of a horse. Odds on a tall tale. With hands out wide, you trudged south to Tuam, then on to Crockwell and Gort. You knew darkness and could measure light. Come to me, come with me, show me your scars, and I will curse for you. While St. Bridget hung washing on a sunbeam in spring, you dreamt of being a boy again with rod and golden worms. Flowers and lists of red berries carpeted the bog road in Kiledon. There was a first night in Claremorris and strong drink in Ball. Kilshima was steeped in laughter. All this was yours for a song. A poet dreams, a muse seeks its own geography. You're back. A sculpture in Kilshima, a bard, trapped in open air for entertainment. I try to keep an up-to-date diary of other routine events. A woman in curlers charts a love story in a shop window. Another sings of a long-lost lotto ticket. Health freaks check their feet before walking round in circles. A footless man peeps through the church railing. Planes hardly clear the houses in Knock, and children are rushed off to piano lessons. And you say, "Come, sit by me for a moment. I am blind. I have walked to Galway and can hear the sun." The child in your tomb will continue to outlive days of holy awe and judgment. And in Kiledon in springtime, with nature writing colour into a new season, your silhouette baked in earth and sound is stenciled in the sky.
Well done.